Well, Alabama takes it on the chin, loses 27-20 uh, in overtime to the Michigan Wolverines. And I guess I'm having to remake the video because apparently my sound was, I don't know how the mics got cut off. There was no reason for that to have happened. And I guess I wish I had seen that on the chat, but it's okay. We're going to make a little short one anyway. I'm going to say everything I said. Well, pretty much everything I said on the first video. And, we're going to talk about it again, which is fine. I don't mind. I can talk Alabama football all day, man. But, anywho, just to make sure, yeah, testing. Yeah, we good today. We good. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the game, how the game started. We made some adjustments at halftime, and then we played a whole lot better in the second half. And it had not been for a couple of busted plays in the secondary, a busted play in the secondary, and a busted play on fourth down on their own 33. I think we should have won that game, but we didn't, and we lose. And I got my perspectives on everything, how everything went, and I'm gonna tell you about that here in just a minute. Just hang with me for a little bit. Two times on. What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle. One more again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Well, as I said in the opening, it's kind of very much looking forward to this game. Did a little video earlier on my Cowboys, and I said, let me shut this down because I gotta get in place because I got a game I gotta watch, man. Alabama's playing, getting ready to play in the national championship semifinals, and the game kicked off. Michigan gets the ball first, and I thought we had an interception. I think J.J. McCarthy threw the ball, and I thought Caleb Downs intercepted it on the sideline, but he went out of bounds and kind of came in, didn't establish himself. And that's the thing. Maybe everybody didn't know that you have to do that. You have to kind of come in and put both feet back down in bounds before you can participate in a play. And he didn't do that. He came right in and jumped up and intercepted the ball, and then got his feet down. But that was after he touched the ball, so that play didn't count. And they ended up, punting later, and then we get the ball. And then, of course, now that first drive of Alabama's was really indicative of how the first half really kind of went because, uh, first play sack of 13 yards. They running a zone blitz. Kevin, shouts out to Kevin Mentor because he kind of had us scouted. Remember that these guys ain't played in over a month, right? So they got time to put in stuff to help, put in stuff to defend us, right? So they know that, okay, there's certain things we're not, our passing scheme is not sophisticated. It's really not. It's not. It doesn't have like a lot of layers to it. It's very simplistic. And if you can throw a whole bunch of defensive wrinkles and stuff at us, it's going to make it where, Jalen's not, because he's not at that level yet. There's levels to this thing. And I got my chat open this time. Like I said, my chats are not on the same as my uh, overlay here. So I'm using Restream, and so I have to look at and it tells you an indicator when you got chats, and I didn't see them until late. So yeah, my whole other video, I'll just take it down because it didn't wasn't no sound to it. I don't know how the mics got muted. I don't understand that because I haven't done anything to them, but somehow it's technology. But anyway, early in the thought the offense was shoddy because we couldn't pick up the blitz, and I would have thought Tommy Rees would have put in some blitz adjustment uh, pieces in there, like having a back slide out of the backfield to where that linebacker or safety guy came from. Pick you up 8, 9, 10 yards. You do that 2 or 3 times, you'll keep them from doing that or make them do something different. Now, I'm of the old school, and I believe in if they don't figure out what you're doing, well, then you just keep on doing it. And apparently we didn't figure that out in the first half. So they just kept doing it. They kept running. So we got sacked like 4 or 5 times in the first half. And if it wasn't for Michigan fumbling or muffing that punt on their second punt, and we got the ball on like the 35-yard line, we might not have scored in this first half. Okay, because we ended up getting a 30-yard run by Chase McClellan and made it 7-0. And of course, they came back and they got an 80-yard drive, 75-yard drive, and they tied it at 7. And then, of course, every drive we seem to have at least one sack is in every series of downs. There's always a sack in there because we seem to could not ever pick up their blitz packages. We just couldn't pick them up. And you would think that if Tommy Rees and Nick Saban and the offensive staff and Milroe had a whole month to prepare for these things, they would have had something ready for that. But Nick, we always, in these games, we always used to tend to be the most prepared teams, but not so much today. So our offense was shoddy early. The defense was sort of off balance because when the Michigan had the ball, they was running a lot of misdirection stuff, and our guys were like out of position. And I think Blake Corman, a 21-yard run on one, another 8, 9-yard run on another one. We just out of position where they showing us a lot of eye candy, and we just falling for the banana in the tailpipe, right? So it ended up being 13-7. They got a touchdown, an 83-yard drive right before halftime. And so I thought that we could wait a minute. I might be wrong here. Let me check because I might be wrong here. No, we did get a field goal before halftime. I forgot. I didn't see. Yeah, it was 13-10 at halftime. I was saying 13-7. It's 13-10. Second half, I thought we made some adjustments. We got the ball first, and we had some nice runs. Jalen was running with it. Some runs with Miller. And we had some good runs in the second half with we had some good runs with here we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, we had some good runs with Jam Miller, Justice Haynes. That's the one I couldn't think of his name. Had some nice runs, but then we ran into bad snaps. Laughlin was snapping the balls all over the place, man. He was making Jalen Milroe be a center fielder. A shortstop, man, catching balls off the short hop and everything. But he ended up throwing one to the right and over his head, sort of, kind of. And I thought he could have picked it up and maybe made a play, but when he went to pick it up, his feet sort of slid out from under him, and he he went down. Of course, in college, once your knees down, you down. So that's just how it is. And then we had an errant snap on the next play because the ball's on the floor again, ball's on the ground again. So we ended up losing like 13 yards on that play, like 3 yards on that play. So it was like third down and like 29. So they got like a 7-yard play. So they made it fourth down and like 17 or 18 or something like that. So we ended up punting. But Michigan couldn't move the football either. I think they went 6 plays and punted. We got the ball back, and then we tried 2 running plays. I think McClellan ran for 4. McClellan ran for 3. Took me 3 and 3. It was 3rd and 4. and they ran some sort of leak out of the backfield dunk pass that was offline. And I'm like, what is we doing? And so Pitt punted back to Michigan. I'm like, now watch Michigan score. But the defense held up. So whatever adjustments we made offensively, we made some defensively as well. And we held them 3 plays, 1 yard, And so finally on our third possession, we started to make some strides, man. We got some runs, got some throws in on that particular drive, and we end up going um, 8 plays and 55 yards on that drive. Milrow ran for 9. Justice Hayes ran for 8, first down. Jalen Milrow run for 10, first down. Justice Hayes run for 3. Milrow complete to Isaiah Bond for 9. It's a first down. First and 10, which gives us first and 10 at the Michigan 16. And then a false start, which gives us second and 15 at the 21. But then Chase McClellan has a 3-yard run. Milrow, after the false start, Milrow runs 18 yards off. I mean, that thing was just quick. It was a quick hitting play. And he almost scored on that play. And the very next play, Chase McClellan goes from 3 yards on. He had 2 touchdowns a day. And it's 17-13, like I said, capping a 10-play, 55-yard drive. And so anyway, after that Michigan punt, we ended up having the ball at the 45. And that's why it was a 55-yard drive. So, and of course, Michigan punt. Then we get the ball back, and then we run it on them again. But then Milrow fumbles. He stumbles out of the, on a run and stumbles up towards the sideline. And he's got the ball kind of awkwardly, and he gets the ball knocked out of his hand. It's certain ways you can tell he's used to. Because I've seen plays where he's running and breaks the line of scrimmage, and he's running for the sideline. And I'm like, dude, go upfield. What are you doing? He's running like Forrest Gump, man. And when the guy, he's running to the sideline. No, go upfield. So some of that, sometimes he just don't have the polish of a runner, sometimes. But he fumbled that, but we held him. They ended up missing the field goal, so they didn't cost us anything. So we got that ball back, and we was driving. Like I was telling you before, we had some nice runs on that particular drive. And it was, and I'm watching actually that drive here right now, as a matter of fact. And so we had gone like 9 plays and 35 yards. McClellan for 4, McClellan for 17, first down. Jalen Milrow to complete to Jermaine Burton for 2, make it second and 8. Milrow 5 yards run to make the third down and 3. And then Jam Miller runs off the right end. I thought he was going to get tackled, but he followed his blocks, went down the sideline, and for like a 11-yard run, which gives us which gave us first down and 10 at the Michigan 30. And so I'm like, man, we cooking with grease now, man. And then on the play leading up to, you can't break the huddle or have 12 men, So we had a substitution infraction. I thought it was against the defense. I'm like, oh man, dang, that's a 5-yard. So I made it first and 15. And then the series of plays after that did not allow us to, it kind of broke our momentum, to be perfectly honest with you. Because he threw a pass to Jermaine Burton for 2 yards, a little screen pass, and the dude jumped on him immediately and slung him to the ground. Then he went to C.J. Dupree for 4 yards, just made it third down and 9. And of course, on third down and long distance like that, what is Michigan going to do? They're going to blitz, and that's what they did. They came off that right defensive side, the left deep offensive side, and it's right in front of Milrow, and he took the sack, a 9-yard sack, almost damn near took us out of field goal range, but Will Riker was able to make the 52-yard field goal because we were at the 34. We was at the 29. He was a 5-yard sack, and he knocked back to the 34. It ended up being a 52-yard field goal. Okay. Then here's the drive, because I'm thinking, okay, there's only like 4 minutes and some change left in the game, right? So Michigan gets the ball, and they run it to Blake Corum for 4 yards, and Blake Corum for 4 more. It's third and 2. They run some sort of crazy play where they brought another quarterback in. So I'm like, oh, they finna pitch it to him and have him throw it to McCartney, or have him pitch it to him and then have him throw it to somebody down the field. They finna run another gadget play because they run 2 or 3 gadget plays, right? You know the side of a team to think they're not better than the other team when they start running a bunch of gadget plays, a bunch of flea flickers and double passes and all that kind of stuff. Trickeration is what they used to call it. It's not even a word, but whatever. But end up being they ran that and they didn't get anything. He threw it into the middle of traffic and didn't get nothing with it. And then on 4th down, I think they might have called a timeout if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, oh, it's 4th down, and they're going for it with about 3 minutes and some change left in the game on their own 33-yard line. So I'm like, if we can get a stop here, that might be the ball game because we're already in field goal range, right? From that point, we just kicked a field goal from that same position. Would have been a 52-yarder, but and that would have put us up by 10 points, more than a score. And the way that game was going, you get up by more than a score. That's why I was hoping we could have, that's why that fumble hurt when Jalen fumbled it, and that's why those errant snaps hurt because I thought we could have because every piece of the puzzle matters. You may not think about it when it's happening, but all those pieces they come together and they all matter. But so it's 4th down and 2 at the 33-yard line, and and he drops back the pass, and Blake Corum just leaks right out of the backfield, and nobody goes with him. I'm looking at that, and I'm like, how nobody see it's sort of like the Miami Dolphins having a play where you don't cover Tyreek Hill. And I'm not saying he's on the level of Tyreek Hill, but what I am saying is that he's their best player. How would you not cover him? He leaked out of the backfield and no linebackers, no safety, nobody went with him. He just leaked out of the backfield, dumped it off to him. He got a nice block, went down the sideline for 27 yards and got an illegal block at the 50, and they brought it back 10 yards to midfield. It was going to be at the 40-yard line. We brought it back to the 50, and then they got then J.J. McCartney ran off to the right, round the right end. I thought he was, but somehow he found a seam in there, ran for 16 yards, and then like 2 plays later, he threw a pass that it was like a pass that really should have been picked because it got tipped. And this dude, Roman Wilson, I think, ended up catching that, and I thought it was going to be an incomplete pass, and I thought if we hold him, make him go 4th down, but he caught it, and and then they end up getting inside the 15-yard line, and then he went right back to Roman Wilson on a little misdirection, like a little, I guess you call it a little flare route out of the backfield, sort of, and kind of had us off balance. He slipped right into the end zone. They went 75 yards on that drive, and after only getting only 1 first down the entire second half, they go 75 yards on a busted play, and that really opened the door for the rest of the thing. They weren't able to get anything the rest of the half until that drive. What you going to do, man? What you going to do? So we get the ball back with like a minute and some change left, and, of course, we get a couple of first downs. We're not able to move it. I think Jalen had a run for like 8 yards, got a first down. Then there was a play I thought that he should have got to it was sort of over the middle, and he didn't really get enough on it. It looked like it might have been open, but he just didn't get enough on it. The ball bounced to him. But I thought that one should have been one he could have completed. It was on a I know they ended up having a first down and 10, and they didn't get it. They got like 8 yards on it, and I'm watching the play right now. Went back, nothing there. Takes out for 8 yards. Okay, and he has it at the 20, like the 28-yard line or something like that. Then they had second down and 3. It was 7 yards, I guess. Second down, back to pass, dumps it out of the backfield to Chase McClellan for like 4 yards. It's automatic first down, and so they moving. They getting it set up for Will Riker to sort of do his thing or whatever, and and so they got like the want to say like the 40, I think 38-yard line, and with about like a minute and 12 seconds left in the game. And then so Milroe goes back. He's in shotgun. He goes back to pass. And this is the one he was going to he's going to Kobe Prentice. It was a well designed pass where he's in motion and he ran like a little crossing route, but he didn't get all. He had to zip it in there because a safety was coming from the other side and he didn't get enough on it, and it bounced to him. It ended up being 2nd and 10, and from the same place, about the 34, 35-yard line, and so we went deep to nobody. It was a miscommunication that made it 3rd down and 10. And 3rd downs and longs wasn't our friend today. It just weren't, it just weren't. But what ended up happening is he ended up throwing it to McClellan for like 6 yards out of the backfield, ended up being 4th down and 4. And so we ended up punting the ball, and they just let the clock roll. It ended up being like about 35 seconds left, and they ended up punting. But the Michigan guy, number 26, mishandled the snap. How many special teams blunders did the Michigan have? They missed an extra point, missed a field goal, muffed a punt early, and muffed this one. Okay? But yeah, and so end up they let the clock run down, and then but it ended up going into the half-yard line, and so Michigan really couldn't like extend themselves to do anything because they're at the 1-yard line basically, or inside the 1, so they can't really get too creative with the play calling because we'll end up getting a safety. You'll lose it 22-20. So they kind of just ran it, and then they just let the clock run out, and then we went to overtime. Of course, now when we go to overtime. Michigan gets the ball first, 25-yard line. And for the most part, I think they only needed 2 plays to go to 25 yards. Blake Corum, I thought he should have been tackled in the backfield, but he's bouncing off the guys, broke a tackle, and and got 8 yards down to the 17. And I'm like, okay, we can still stop him. We can still stop him. Then the very next play, Blake Corum off tackle. Looked like 2 dudes ran into the same hole, and he just broke outside of that and went to 17 yards. And I thought, I was like, can we at least stop him inside the 5? And they couldn't. And he drug him on into the end zone. So I'm like, man, 2 plays, touchdown. And so we get the ball, and so we get a we get the ball, and we run 4 plays. We ran a completion to Kendrick Law for 1 yard, which is no good there. 2nd and 9. Then Milroe runs for 15 yards down to the 16-yard line. Down to the 9. I'm sorry. Down to the 9. So it's 1st and goal from the 9. And then they ran a little pitch play to McClellan that lost like 4 yards back to like the 14, 15-yard line. So you got 2nd down and goal from like the 14. 3rd down and goal from the 14. And then he threw a pass to Jermaine Burton, ran a nice down the sideline route. I wished he'd ran it on into the end zone and like a couple of yards deep into the end zone, and then turned around and caught it at the goal line as opposed to running it to the 5, running it to the 2, and then coming back to the 3 and catching it, which is what he did. Got hurt on the play too. I hope the kid's all right. So here it is, 4th down at the 3.5, 4-yard line. And we come to the line of scrimmage. Michigan calls a timeout because they want to see what we're doing. And then we come to the line of scrimmage, and then we call a timeout because we see what they're in. Okay. We call a timeout. Then Michigan calls a timeout, and then we call a second timeout. We call 2 timeouts there. Okay. We come to the line of scrimmage. So I'm like, okay, you see a guy in motion. I said, okay, we're going to run some sort of misdirection something or whatever. It might be good. Maybe if you get him on the outside or something, or maybe a screen pass or something with some misdirection in it to give him a little eye candy or something like that, right? Nope. had him in shotgun at the 7, and they ran a basic quarterback draw that got stopped at the 2-yard line. That was the ball game. That was it. I would have liked to have seen a little more creativity there, a little more something in there, considering that they called 2 timeouts to talk about that thing. You couldn't come up with no better play than that, just to run up the middle, and they was like waiting for that. They got gassed on that before. Oh no, you have to get to the outside. And I would have liked for them to ran something to the outside because he's the fastest dude on the field, and I like him getting around the end against any defense. But that's not what they called. Tommy Rees called a quarterback draw, and they got stopped at the 2. And that's the ball game. Everybody drive home safe. So anyhow, I thought that we made adjustments at the second half. Still the problems, we didn't make side adjustments. They didn't make any blitz adjustments. They didn't. I mean, they made the adjustment was we ran the football and simplified the offense. Okay, and what we got to understand is Jalen Milroe is not. Let me say this, because I think as Alabama fans we've been spoiled for the last 8 years with the quarterbacks we've been getting here, starting with Jalen Hurts back in 2016. While I think Jalen Milroe is a more polished passer than Jalen Hurts was, the whole understanding what's going on with the game, I think Jalen Hurts had a better grasp on it because he was a son of a coach, right? And because you never saw Jalen get sacked a lot, If the thing wasn't there, he would just take off and get you 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and you'd have a nice, good, positive play. Okay, you never saw him just take sacks because he just had a pocket presence. It's something about his awareness, even today. He even with the Eagles, because I think the Eagles run a sort of a simplified offense, but he does not let them get in negative plays. He just has a certain thing about him that he kind of sees that. He sees the pressure and he adjusts to the pressure, and he don't let himself get sacked. I mean, he gets sacked, but it don't happen as often as other guys. And Milroe takes a lot of sacks, okay? A lot of them. He's been sacked like 45, 40, 50 times this year, 6 today. And some of it is on him and some of it is on the coach and not put him in proper, and he's not at the same level. Quarterback, look, for one thing, and we get ready to close the video, a lot of the quarterback positions played a lot different now than it used to be. It used to be if you could throw the ball well, then that's all it took. You just know how to, you down set HUD, you just throw the ball to the guys open. But the defensive has gotten so sophisticated. The offensive have become so sophisticated. I blame Peyton Manning for that. Calling plays at the line of scrimmage with the Omaha and all this stuff. I blame him for that because you almost are a coach on the field. You can change up plays. A quarterback now, when he comes to the line of scrimmage, you know what he's doing? He's looking over the defense. He's looking at his offensive line. He's moving his offensive line in places. Okay, such and such is going to be the guy coming. Y'all need to watch this guy. Bring a guy from the right side that's lined up in the backfield over on the other side. Bringing him over to this side because that's where the defensive pressure is coming from. And call for, okay, we call a sweep play on this. They're going to be overloading the run. I'm going to call a screen pass because they're blitzing. All of that stuff is done from the quarterback position, right? At the line of scrimmage. It's not just throwing the football. And I think Jalen Milroe is kind of like one of his problems was because I think he told a reporter, "Well, I'm a thrower. I'm not a runner." And I'm like, "Dude, you run probably a 4.4, 4.5, 4.4 40, and you can run the football. So, and you don't really possess all of the other things. It'll come." But some of the other things that, like I said, we've been so blessed these last 7 or 8 years with Jalen and then Tua and then Bryce. Guys that already were 5, 6 levels into, understanding the whole art of quarterbacking. And I don't think Jalen Milroe is quite there yet, but he has more athleticism than any of those dudes. You've seen the speed that dude's got? So, And until he understands that other part, you got to design an offense that takes advantage of his physical skill sets. That's why I couldn't understand why they didn't have zone read concepts in the early parts of the game, other parts of the season. Okay. Some of that was because he didn't consider himself a running quarterback. Well, dude, you're a quarterback that can run well. Use all of your tools. You use the tools necessary for the job. Don't leave them good tools in the toolbox. So that's the thing, right? So we get to the game. So I thought like some of the key play, like some of the key things in the game. I thought like I said, the first half we didn't make no adjustments offensively or defensively. And we made adjustments halftime, simplified the offense, started to run the ball, started getting physical, got getting behind those 350-pound offensive linemen that we got, and just ran the football down their throat. And I thought we got a couple of bad snaps in that first possession, and I thought that illegal participation call hurt that drive because it stopped our momentum and it put us in a passing down and distance. And that made now we can, because we were getting 3, 4, 5 yards on first down. We can't blitz now because they can always run it. But now it's second down and 15. Now we can, and so they ran a what you call a screen, a flanker screen for 2 yards, and then another play that was incomplete, and then we had a 3rd and 9 and a run for 5 yards. It was 3rd and 9, and they came in and blitzed him and sacked him. So I thought that illegal, and then we ended up having an extended for a field goal where I thought we should have got a touchdown. And of course, that last play that they ran, I didn't think was a good play considering they had 2 timeouts on that. But this is what I'm going to do as I close the video. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to disrespect Jalen Milroe, okay? Because I think as fans, I think we're spoiled, like I just said, okay? I think we're spoiled as a fan base, okay? I mean, we're going to say we got 18 national championships. Nobody else has nothing like that, okay? Of course, we're spoiled, right? But then we've been spoiled the last 7 or 8 years with quarterbacks. No, we used to just have game manager quarterbacks. Quarterbacks is just a cog in the system. We didn't have guys that could just get the job. We didn't have no star quarterbacks. But Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Bryce Young were guys. All 3 of these dudes are starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And then we end up having Mac Jones, okay? Mac Jones and then Tua Tagovailoa, okay? And all of these dudes ended up being, starting quarterbacks. I don't know. Mac Jones is still kind of, we'll see. But, he having some hard times there with New England with Bill O'Brien. But they're starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So, yeah, we kind of got fortunate, right? And you expect all these quarterbacks to come in already at that position where they can manage the whole game. And he was not at that position. Now, he's further along than them physically. But the other parts, you got to kind of give him some of that, he ain't got all the keys. Tua and Mac Jones and Bryce, they had all the keys when they come in there. You just call the plays and set up the stuff. With Jalen, you kind of got to, get him into the, get him some of that, and he'll get it. He'll get it. But you got to put him in that kind of position. But we got to be able to utilize what he's got until he gets that. So, but I'm not going to say, because one guy said on the 247 thing that, I'm not exactly excited about having him back. I'm like, dude, stop that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to that kid. That's a good kid, man. Don't do that to him. Because recency bias, we looking at that. You forgot all about 4th down and 31, didn't you? Okay? You forgot all about that. Without that 4th and 31, we not here today. Okay, we're not here. Okay, you forgot about the SEC championship game. How brilliantly he played in that game. You forgot about that. We're not here today if he doesn't win that game. Okay, yeah. Now, yeah, he had some growing pains. I saw the game in South Florida, whatever we got benched. I saw that, and I saw him against Texas. I saw that he made some plays, but they had a defense. We didn't adjust the offense to him. And maybe he was reluctant to have the offense adjusted. I'm a thrower. No, but that's some of that. But here's the thing. I'm not going to disrespect that kid. That kid came a long way. If you'd have told me back when that South Florida game that this guy right here was going to lead us to the college football national semifinals, I would have said you was crazy. And that kid has come all the way and done that. Now, because he didn't take us all the way, you sitting there saying, well, okay, if we come back or not. Stop that. That's the kind of stuff that from Alabama fans and other fans don't like. Stop that. Stop it. Because it's ignorant. Stop it. Okay? That kid played his butt off, man. And you can't make him because he's not Tua. He's not Bryce Young. He's just not. Okay? That's okay. Okay? Yeah, we forget all about what he did. I just didn't, and I just didn't like that play calling. I think better play calling. I think we win this thing. We go on to the next level. All right, but that's it. We end up losing 27-20 in overtime. Congratulations, Michigan. You finally get to the big dance. Whoop-de-whoop. We'll see what you can do. I will say this now. I did say that I would kind of talk about what I thought Alabama's got coming in, because I know we had the number 2 recruiting class behind Georgia again. And so, we end up being number 2 in the recruiting. We got some pretty good guys coming in from the transfer portal. We got Nate. I didn't say, is it Nate Oates? Oh no, this is basketball. Sorry. We got Edge Jay Sean Ross, 6'4", 220. He's an edge. Position number 21, probably like a 4-star running back. Kevin Riley, he's coming. 5'11", 195. Athlete Aaron Hampton, he's 5'10", 175. Rodarius Morgan is a safety from Phoenix City. These are some of the guys. Jeremiah Beeman, number 11 defensive lineman coming out of Birmingham, Parker High School. Wide receiver Amari Jefferson, number 25 wide receiver, 4-star, 6 foot, 200 pounds. We got some guys coming. So the cupboard ain't bad. Like I said, we just restock and reload, right? So we're still gonna be good. We're still gonna be good. We're still good. It's still Bama, still Roll Tide all day long. We might not be feeling real good right about now, but it's still Roll Tide, and I wouldn't be a fan of no other team right now other than the Alabama Crimson Tide. So anyway, as we put a bow on this 23-24 season. I know that's the thing that's the hardest to deal with, that, when these things end in these bowl season, it's the end of the season. It's like, you get up Saturday morning and there's no game. That's the sad part about it, man. The seasons come and they go. The season goes by so quick, man. And then it's over, and it's like, man, where did the time go? It's just gone. And you get up Saturday, and it's like nobody's playing. Same thing's gonna happen in the NFL. You're gonna get up Sunday, and ain't gonna be no games in about a month. Same thing. But before I go, even though we lost, but we still Bama, and we still the best thing in the business. We still the best college football program out there, and I don't care what nobody says. So before we go, I got to hear this one more time. Roll Tide roll, baby. Well, until next year, 2024, 2025. Like I said, this puts a bow and it closes the lid on a great college football season. Didn't end the way we wanted to. We ended up going 12-2, and we ended up in the college football playoff. And we'd like to have won that thing, or at least went to the championship game, but wasn't to be. But I'm proud of them kids because they dug in, dug down, and I think they played about as well as they could play. Did hear Dallas Turner's going to the declare himself for the NFL draft. Good luck, good luck, young man. But anyway, that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred at the end of the 2023-2024 college football season for the Alabama Crimson Tide, as it is. It's the other semifinals going on. Washington and Texas tied at 21-21. We'll see. Really don't have an interest in it now that we were out. So, I know that shouldn't be like that. But anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. Once again, Alabama loses 27-20 in overtime in the college football playoff semifinal. And it's on to next year. God bless. Catch you guys next year.